Welcome to FFC Top 3, a show where we, your FFC hosts, count things down from 3 to number 1. Thank you for joining us this week. If you have a suggestion for a topic for Top 3, be sure to drop us a note on Twitter at FocusFireChat, in our Discord, or even email us at focusfirechat@gmail.com. This week, we are talking about Destiny memes. We're doing our top 3 Destiny memes, and just kind of a fun, silly one. I know there's a bunch out there, and I swear to goodness, if somebody does the one I think they're going to do, I may rage a little bit, but also be happy at the same time, because it's just like a love-hate relationship with that particular meme. But, Beard, would you like to go first this week?
With that minor field mind out there, don't misstep, Beard.
Who's going to make Green rage quit?
Mm-hmm. I mean, why wouldn't I make you rage quit?
Hey, be nice to me. I'm already playing Warlock for the first time ever.
Well, my first one actually, I think, goes towards what Bungie actually did in a bit of their own marketing, believe it or not. Actually, first off, I want to apologize for missing last week. Thank you guys for understanding and let me have a week off. Because I needed it big time.
Yeah.
I will also say that on the main show, but I'll get into a little bit then. But anyway, my number 3 would actually again go towards like some marketing that Bungie did, and it was the Japanese trailer that they did for Destiny 2, where they had the song.
Oh,
Did anybody see that with the dance off? That was
amazing.
That was amazing and hysterical and so mimetic all in one. Just brilliant little piece of marketing that they had there. And I think it is always worth bringing up, so I'm gonna make that my number 3.
Yeah, nice. It reminds me of like the Taken King trailer that came out that had which rock song was it?
It was Black Dog by Led Zeppelin, I believe.
That was a real good one.
Or the OG trailer, way back for Destiny 1, where everyone was getting super hyped because they thought that we could play music through our ghosts because they were on the moon.
Oh, that would be cool.
They were on the moon,
right.
And they were playing, oh God, what was it? I want to say it was an AC/DC song.
Probably
was,
like Hell's Bells or something like that.
It might have been Hell's Bells. Yeah, it was. It was the whole. How about something classic?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, that would have been brilliant if they would have allowed us to do that. Actually, they got ripped into. I forget who had done so, but for the marketing for having the music and everything the way that it was, I forget who got ripped into, but they did not like the way that marketing worked. And it turned out that was like the most watched trailer out of like all of Bungie's stuff.
That one and the Jungle Book, Law of the Jungle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna say the Law of the Jungle one. That is still my favorite trailer of all time.
With their trailers, like that's one thing they've got down pat is their marketing ideas for this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Blue, what's your number 3 meme?
Mine are actually, so most people know I really am a big fan of quotes. So mine are actually, majority of them, actually all of them are going to be like various quotes, but my number 3 is "Be brave." I think that is like, I love how in the world of Destiny they have taken to using that as a sign off for things.
Mm-hmm.
So like all of the Vanguard terminals and everything will be like, "Be brave," like it's "Be brave, Guardian," or whatever. And then
Devrim even says it at the end of one of the adventures on the EDZ.
Yeah, Devrim will say it. Zavala says it quite a bit, which is, I mean, that makes sense. But I love that one. I think that's a great little like nod to one of the like core tenets of what they're trying to do with the Guardians.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mine is a little bit more cheeky, less serious.
This is also why I kind of went more serious, is because I figured I'm kind of sad Justin isn't able to make it, but
I know.
I'm gonna say you had him last week and you didn't have me last week. That was kind of funny.
I know.
No, my number 3 is actually from the Grimoire. It is the Traveler Googly Eyes. Because if you look up Traveler Googly Eyes, that is a thing now online. And that makes
Good
me
job,
so happy.
Rhino. Good job, Rhino.
I have a friend when I was teaching who would put googly eyes on everything. She thought it was hilarious. Like she would, God, why am I blanking on the name? When you humanize something that is not human,
Anthropomorphize.
thank you. She would do that to everything. So everything had googly eyes and was staring at you when you walked into her classroom. And it's like
That's
a
like,
low-key version of telling the students that she's always watching.
That's like Ann Wheaton. Ann Wheaton and oh gosh,
With
what's Bonnie? They like Bonnie Burton, I want to say. I don't think that's her last name, but she's another one of the writers who do kind of that review stuff. And they like every time they go to conventions, Ann Wheaton apparently has the exact same habit. Like she will bring bags full of googly eyes, and they just Google eyes everything, which is a really weird word to say. Google eyes. You googly eyed it. Oh my gosh, yeah. So like she gets in trouble when she's not even been somewhere because someone will take a picture of someone had Google-eyed the something and they're like, and it's like, I wasn't even there.
She always, like when she's on tabletop with Will.
Oh yeah.
She'll trash the background with them. Everything's covered in them. And it's just like, all right, guys. Wow. Yeah. The Traveler Googly Eyes is my number 3 for sure, just because I cannot believe that somebody decided that this is going to be a literal search term that they're going to make sure that all of them pop up. Beard, number 2 though.
Yeah, I mean, I can honestly quote like I didn't know what this week's topic was, like full disclosure, until like earlier on, and I didn't get a lot of time to think about it because my sister's visiting for the week. And I've been like racking my brain here trying to think. Like, all right, so we could just have like a blanket one, to be honest. Like, how many of the big ones are out there? Like, whether we wanted it or not, we stepped into war with the Cabal on Mars. Anyway,
that was the one that I warned.
That you warned everybody about.
That's the one. Yeah. That's the one that, like, mainly because of Anna Bray on Twitter. She trolls everybody with it.
Well, like how many different ways can you like change that one up? I did when that stupid rabbit with the sign was a thing. I made that into something, and I said like, whether we wanted it or not, this meme will not die.
Right.
And the question is, which one is it that's not going to die? Obviously, the rabbit didn't last as long as I thought it was going to. The other piece, then, like I think I've seen DMG and a few others do it differently. We also had somebody that went for, I think it was almost an entire month, and made sure that all of his tweets.
Oh, that was Ishtar Commander
with the.
Yeah, I think
so.
That was impressive as hell.
That was. So he actually went and he took that entire phrase, and he started off with like whether, and then the next one was we, and then the next one was wanted. But he typed out an entire tweet set like over the course of a month or something like that, and each and every tweet was the next word in the phrase, or at least started with the next word in the phrase. But it was still a cohesive tweet.
Wow.
But yeah,
I can't remember if it was Commander or Dim. Now that I'm thinking about it, because like Dim, I'm pretty sure it was one of them. Also did the first letter. If you did the first letter of all their tweets, like since they went live, it actually spelled out the whole thing. Like someone had like, I mean, they had done.
That's a lot of work.
Oh my gosh, it was. Oh my gosh, I'm trying to look it up real quick because it was. I don't want to say the wrong one because it was an impressive amount of work.
Man, okay.
Yeah, it was not tiny. So if you really want to see the extent of just how far that one really goes, quite frankly, like this community has taken that meme to entirely new levels.
Yeah,
Just
they have.
entirely new levels. But I think it's only fair to say, or if anybody is curious, like why that one is so prevalent within the community. If you were not around during year one Destiny 1, you have no idea about this. But it was very possible to get locked into that instance
Oh
like
God.
6 or 7 times over. It
That
was
strike.
god awful.
What
That
was
it was
Valis
just,
to Arc,
Yeah,
right?
well, not to mention
it's the
it's
Siege
like
Dancer strike.
well, not to mention it's got one of the biggest bullet sponge bosses in the game.
Well, they
it
had
was an easy
tone-
strike, though.
Oh yeah, no,
well,
it
they
was
had the
super
tone-
easy.
Unless it was Nightfall, in which case you
Right.
wanted to like go and hang yourself. But it was like really one of those strikes where you, whenever you got it, you were just like, I am going to be in here forever. Nexus Mind had nothing on that. None of the other strikes had anything on how much damage Valis to Auric would take. They had to tone him down 3 times, or like 3 times of his health bar had to be killed off in order to make everything more balanced. It was ludicrous.
Think that strike opening in particular is the reason why we don't have dialogue before missions or strikes really now?
Well, we still have a few that do, but they don't fire off in the same instances.
Right.
I think it's also a larger piece just because they want to uniform everything for like loading in and all that.
Right.
Because that also, if we're talking like the dev side of things as well, having that loading also, or playing also tallied into a bit of like the loading of what the game needed to do. So that was another reason they wanted to kill it. If they needed to extend the time of loading for the dialogue bar, that was one thing that they had to do. So they decided, let's just cut out the dialogue in the beginning, and if it loads up in half a second, then it loads up in half a second. That way we don't have to drag it out with dialogue.
Which is nice.
Yeah.
I do kind of miss the dialogue a little bit, though. Getting like the mission briefing is what it felt like. Blue. What's your number 2?
My number 2 is a little light.
Yeah, I can see that one for you.
As soon as so it was one of the emblems that I got in D1 that I wore up until I got the lore emblem, to be honest. Like that was the emblem. I loved that not to mention just the hilariousness of Ghost getting all uppity about it, but like just the entire like mental image of that. Like it's so accurate. Like it was so accurate to what the ghosts were. And I love it. And then also because at the time I was in the Dads of Destiny, a lot of the parenting clans, we kind of, there was a very large grafting onto that entire concept just for obvious reasons, because all of us had kids, and that's what I still refer to my son as a little light. And it's just that, it's a very positive thing to say and to refer to someone as, I think, in just my personal opinion.
Yeah. And I'm going to go totally negative.
There you go. See, we balance each other out.
We're totally going to balance each other out. My number 2 is primary. The whole thing back from D1 where everyone was like angry about shotguns and angry about snipers and nobody was using any other primary weapons. And now I kind of still feel that way. But you can't really say primary anymore because it doesn't work the same. God, everybody and their dad was like, primary? It is fun to see that meme change constantly, though.
It is, because that's one that does change all the time. And I will say this now. I will be very disappointed if when HMGs come back, Thunderlord is not up there at some point.
I'm so excited for HMGs.
All I can say is when you have a Titan in your party and they can throw down that barricade and they can allow for your ammo to be replenished with your Thunderlord, you take that barricade, because that's going to be ridiculous.
That's going to be some good times. Some good salty times coming up.
Yeah.
Some good salty times coming up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some good salty times coming up. Yeah. Some good salty times coming up. Yeah. Some good salty times coming up. Yeah. Some good salty times coming up. Yeah. Some good salty times coming up. Yeah. Some good salty times coming up. Yeah. Some good salty times coming up. Yeah. Some good salty times coming up. Yeah. Some good salty times coming up. Yeah. Some good salty times coming up. Yeah. Some good salty times coming up. Yeah. Some good salty times coming up. Yeah. Some good salty times coming up. Yeah. Some good salty times coming up. Yeah. Some good salty times coming up. Yeah. Some good salty times coming up. Yeah. Some good salty times coming up. Yeah. Some good salty times coming up. Yeah. Some good salty times coming up. Yeah. Some good salty times coming up. Yeah. Some good salty times coming up. Yeah. Some good salty times coming up. Yeah. Some good salty times coming up. Yeah. Some good salty times coming up. Yeah. Some good salty times coming up. Yeah. Some good salty Beard. We're to number ones now, though. You
Oh,
ready
boy.
for it? You ready for it?
I think so.
Okay.
I'm actually going to go with just like characters in general. However, I'm going to actually cheat here and do like two because it's really hard to pick just one.
Mm-hmm.
But the first one is going to be a little biased because of it being Asher Mir.
Uh-huh.
Asher is just a straight meme, quite frankly. He might have plenty of problems and whatnot, but he is totally a meme. The second, as everybody over here in chat is stealing my thunder, is Varix, because Disable Minds, yes.
The Warden strike, where you go
Oh.
in, and I freaking love that strike. It is so funny to see the Warden go crazy, and it's gotten Varix's voice, essentially.
Right. Yep.
That's such a fun strike.
Yeah,
Blue.
that's my favorite of the new ones, I think.
Yeah. Blue, what's your number one?
Eyes Up Guardian.
Mm.
I think it's I just think it, again, similar to the other two, I think it just encapsulates the stubborn positivity that the Destiny community as a whole has. I think when we've talked about this quite a bit on various episodes too. This community has always had like an just unshakable positivity. And even in the darker, there weren't even darker periods of the community. Like, there's been salty periods, but there's not been like anywhere where people were actually getting into like toxic areas with each other. But like even in the difficult periods, there's just always been this underlying, I want to even say, hope that it's going to get better. It's always going to get better. It's always going to be worth the fight. You always get back up and you start again. And that's really, honestly, that's the thing that, to me really drives home and keeps me interested in the Destiny story. Even when I'm not playing Destiny, I'm still interested in the underlying story and the underlying message that Destiny offers. And that line just kind of cements that whole thing in my mind.
Yeah.
Well, you know what they say, Blue. Some hope for the future, some wait for the call.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad they finally put that in game. That was a good... I'm a little tired of it because I go and hang out in that room a lot whenever I go to Tangle Shore for some reason. But, it's a good stuff.
It's too funny.
It is hilarious. The first time we found it, we may have gotten murderized multiple times by the door guard. Because we were not high enough level.
Yeah, I gotta say, first time you're like exploring and everything, you're like sub 400 or just hitting 400. And then all of a sudden you go in this area and you're just like, oh, this is great. What?
You get one
it's
shot.
It's a dance club for Fallen, and then all of a sudden the door guard like runs up at you like, "Hey, how you doing, Pike?"
With a mob boss in the back room doing shady stuff. It's so funny though. My number one is actually kind of a hopeful one too. It's for the puppies.
That's a good one.
Yeah, we were talking about the marketing material at the beginning of the show, and I thought that was the most unexpected but hilarious moment to just kind of drive home how ridiculous we all are, and the fact that we play this game for various reasons, and
how much that has now changed from where it was to where it is now. I think that's the biggest thing to actually call out about that marketing campaign, is just how much the tone has continued to change with Destiny, and how Bungie as a storytelling team has also changed up.
Yeah, that's true. They've gotten a lot more serious. There's still lighthearted moments. Even though they're more serious as far as main story, there's a lot more funny moments, I think, in-game now than there used to be.
Yeah.
But I replayed the first mission of Forsaken earlier on my Warlock, and just watching Cade hang on to that shank as he's being drug around the Prison of Elders. It's just
Or the wink at Petra.
Uh-huh.
Oh God, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just a literal. I don't know. I feel like I'm going to get off topic with this, so I'll just shut up now. But
That's okay.
it really does feel like it's a literal thematic change from like one thing to the next, with how they altered like just that mission as like the final send off to being like, this is what we were, this is where we're going, and I think they just, I guess in a way that alone kind of
Yeah.
has a has its own mimetic value behind it, because like if we're going with characters, Cade is probably one of the biggest memes out of all of Destiny, because who knew Destiny for anything but Cade if you didn't play the game in a lot of ways.
He was the poster boy for sure.
Yep, and legitimately killing the poster boy and having it change over, that should speak a lot for like where you're going and how you want to play it. So
Totally.
that was interesting for them to do.
Yeah. I'm glad. Well, we're going to get in way off topic and keep going on this for a while because it's easy to do.
Yes, it is. What's that story guys are talking about? Story elements? Okay.
It's okay. I'm actually going to use it as a terrible segue. Speaking of dead guys, you want to know next week's topic?
I'm almost afraid to ask with a segue like that.
Next week's topic is people you'd like to meet or have dinner with, dead or alive. Like they can be a dead person that you bring back type thing, but who would you want to have a dinner or like meet up with and chat with? Anybody in the world, in history or anywhere. So we're going to do top 3 of that. A little bit more serious than this week, but I still think a really fun, interesting topic to do. What do you think, Blue? You ready for that one?
Yeah, no, I'm going to have to trim down
your list.
A list.
Uh-huh. You only get 3.
Yeah. I think it's a good one. Like it's I've been asked that before. I've seen it asked in a couple different areas, and it's a good one because you get some pretty interesting answers.
You get a lot of insight about the people around you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That is very true.
That being said, thank you for joining us for top 3 this week. And remember, everybody likes a list.